They didn't just rule Egypt, they rewrote what power looked like. Then someone spent centuries trying to erase them entirely. But you can't bury a legacy forever. Let's find out.
Someone tried to erase her. They chiseled her face from every wall, gouged out her eyes in stone, buried her name under tons of granite. But in doing so, they preserved her perfectly for 3,000 years. This is the story of a woman history tried to delete.
Imagine the blistering heat of the Egyptian sun in 1828. Jean-François Champollion, the genius who cracked the Rosetta Stone, stares at a massive temple wall. He is utterly baffled.
Before him stands a king, carved in magnificent detail. Broad, muscular chest, a traditional pharaoh's kilt, a braided false beard, the ultimate symbol of patriarchal power.
But the hieroglyphs tell an impossible story. They read, "Daughter of Re." Champollion scoffed. He assumed these feminine pronouns were just careless grammatical errors by ancient scribes.
He was looking at Hatshepsut. She hadn't just survived in a man's world. She had hacked the ancient Egyptian patriarchy from the inside out.
It is 1478 BCE. The air inside the palace smells of sweet lotus and burning myrrh. Hatshepsut is supposed to be a mere regent, warming the throne for her toddler stepson.
But by age 30, she makes a move that sends shockwaves down the Nile. She declares herself supreme ruler. Not queen, king. As one of the most powerful women in ancient Egypt, she brilliantly separates her female body from the divine masculine office of the pharaoh. She proudly uses she/her pronouns. Yet, she adopts the strict visual language of male kingship. She commands artists to carve her with male musculature. She literally straps on the fake beard of authority. To seal her power, she carves a massive lie into stone, claiming the supreme god, Amun, personally chose her to rule. The greatest political PR campaign in human history. Her 22-year reign ushers in a golden age. Giant cedar ships return from the legendary land of Punt, their decks heavy with ivory, exotic panthers, and fragrant myrrh trees. But behind the temple walls, a scandalous palace romance blooms. Enter Senenmut, a commoner who rises from total obscurity to become the second most powerful person in Egypt.
Their bond is fiercely intimate. Senenmut is granted an unheard-of privilege. He secretly carves his own face behind the doors of the queen's sacred temple. Breathtaking arrogance or deep devotion?
The ancient public definitely noticed. Archaeologists recently found crude 3,000-year-old graffiti near her temple. It depicts female pharaohs and a commoner in a highly compromising sexual position. Hatshepsut's physical body vanished for millennia, until 2007, when a single missing tooth found in a wooden jar bearing her name perfectly matched a lost mummy. The queen was found. But what happened to Hatshepsut's history? Legend loves a dramatic myth that her bitter stepson, Thutmose III, smashed her statues in a jealous rage the day she died. The truth is far colder. Thutmose waited 20 years, only as an old man, desperate to secure the throne for his own weak son, did he finally strike.
A highly successful female king threatened the cosmic balance of Ma'at. So the erasure began. It was ruthless, systematic, and deeply spiritual.
Stonemasons dragged down her statues. They gouged out the eyes of her effigies, a dark ritual meant to permanently blind her soul in the afterlife.
But at the Grand Karnak Temple, the workers grew lazy. Instead of tearing down her towering obelisks, they simply built brick walls around them, a fatal mistake for the patriarchy. That lazy brickwork accidentally shielded her monuments from the elements, preserving her perfectly. But Hatshepsut wasn't the only one. She belonged to a hidden sisterhood of erased history. Forget Cleopatra. She was Greek. Long before her, native women in ancient Egypt wielded absolute power. Look closely at the ancient Amarna records. You'll find Nefertiti. She isn't just a beautiful queen. She is depicted in the brutal smiting pose, crushing the skulls of her enemies with a mace, the ultimate ruthless act of a pharaoh. In 1900,
Archaeologists unearthed a massive tomb surrounded by 40 sacrificed servants. They immediately assumed the ruthless ruler inside was a man. It was Queen Mernith.
When you watch an ancient Egypt documentary, you expect kings. For 3,000 years, men tried to bury the female pharaohs, but stone remembers, and from the dust, they still rule.